Right, here we are. Welcome to round 6 of the Yorkshire Summer League. I missed the previous race because I got the location wrong. So I set off in what I thought was plenty of time, and I thought it was in Huddersfield. I thought it was a sort of a 40-minute drive away. Actually, it was Harrogate, which is 2 hours away in rush hour. So I thought, sod that, and I went out on an angry training ride instead. Yeah, round 6. This will be my 5th race. It's really hot. Again, it's like 29 degrees. So I've actually got a bottle on my bike this time. I'm going to try and drink halfway through the race. I'm tempted to do it in the base layer. It's too hot to wear my jersey. But anyway, I'm going to go and actually put my kit on now, I think, and pay for my race. Okay, it's race time. Pulled the tape back, feeling quite nervous now, and off we go. I missed my pedal again. You can see the gap. Look at that gap there between me and the front row. That's like 5 bike lengths. And yeah, so that I've already sort of messed up a bit there. I've got a good start sort of after that, although you can still see there's probably a good 10 people, if not more, that go past me on that section there. And that's something that I really need to work on. I was far too relaxed. I was chatting to everyone on the race line, which helps keep the nerves down. But I'm sort of 10 places behind where I could have been if I'd got a good start. And then look at this. It's just a simple right turn, but because there's 10 people trying to do the turn at once, you get people having to dab out and get stuck, and it's a bit of a nightmare. All these tight corners. It's just like it's like being in a traffic jam on the motorway. Look, we're already strung out by 30 seconds or something. Again, another guy having to dab out, and then and now you're just sort of mad sprinting just to try and get back onto the pack, because what we've got coming after these hilly bits now is a bit flat. So you really want to try and get in the slipstream. It would actually help a lot here. You can see already up to 30k, 33k, and it's blindingly hot today, as you can see. It's nearly 30 degrees, and I'm just trying here to get on his wheel, this guy's wheel. Yeah, so this is the big flat bit, and this is where I always struggle a bit. Up the hills it's fine, because it's dictated to you that you have to go for it hard. Whereas when you get to these flat bits, it's your choice. And that's where I really struggle to sort of, engage the glutes, engage the hamstrings, and just proper grind away. So you can see people are already sort of starting to flap a bit. And I know I've got to get on this guy's wheel, because there's a big gap between me, him, and 10 people in front of him. These corners, even though it was bone dry, were actually really quite slippy. The grass was very long, the dry grass, and if you went into it too hard, you would slide out. I actually did that a couple of times, but managed to save it rather than actually fall off. So yeah, this is another key point in the race where you really want to try and get onto their wheel. Here you can see I'm failing, trying desperately, and this is the sort of start of the rest of the lap now. We've got these 2 big hills, and look at that train there, and this is where you can catch up again, because you get these sort of traffic jams. So I sort of try really hard to get up this hill, and manage to close the gap a bit. Now interestingly, you can see on the left there and on the right that there'd been a fire. It's been that dry, apparently someone had started a fire a week or 2 before, and half of this ground is just burnt to a crisp. It's like Lanzarote or something. So you've got a very thin line that you have to stick to, and with heart rate 175, that is a struggle. You're using your whole body weight to try and counter what your bike wants to do, and you're having to make sure you look through the corner, something I'm always struggling with. And yeah, that nearly came off on that bit quite a few times. Even here it's still sort of single track, so yes, you've got to put the power down, but you've also really got to focus. because the second that you go onto that black stuff, you're slowing down or you're off. Now this bit here, that corner, I actually fell off on the practice lap. Again, long, slippy grass. Yeah, it was a killer. So this was the worst hill. Okay, it's maybe about a minute effort, something like that. And in this heat, it was just a nightmare. Your adrenaline's going, so you know I'm going really hard trying to get up this hill. Starting out below 170 BPM, end up at like 177 or something. This is where you want the hill to end, and then you just got this final like 10 seconds. And you can just see everyone's different abilities here in a way. That guy that I just sort of tried to overtake, he's really sort of dying at the top of the hill, but then we get to the top of the hill and I've got no power left to overtake him. So he actually recovers quicker than I do, even though he's going slower up the hill. And that's something I really need to try and remember in a way. Is in my head I'm thinking, I'm going to sprint up this hill and show them, but I get to the top of the hill and then I'm empty, I've barely got anything left, so I can't maintain that effort. So it's a bit of a wasted effort really. This is coming to the end of the first lap now. We've got this really sharp descent, when after that steep hill it's really hard to concentrate and make sure you keep in control. So just coming to this corner now. Whoa, Jesus Christ, what's he doing? I didn't even know he was there, no communication, and just boom, dives right in, and I had to dodge out of the way at the last second. But that's racing. So yeah, we're cutting ahead a little bit now, and I'm getting attacked left, right and centre. All these people around me are my sort of peers generally in races. I think we sort of come within the same sort of 5 to 10 spots every race. And yeah, it's the second lap now, and this is where the different skills come to play. So the people with greater consistency, this is where they can slowly start to pull away. I don't have that consistency. I like the explosive efforts, I like the attacks, but I struggle with just maintaining that effort. So it's these parts really. I know I've got to get on his wheel, and I manage it, but you can see that he's struggling a bit. So he's not bridging that gap to the guy in front at all, and I don't have the energy to either. So even though it's helping me in his slipstream, it's not helping me in terms of the race. I'm not getting any nearer to any other of the riders. So that's always one of the interesting things about cross really, is deciding when to attack, what's useful to you, what isn't useful to you. You know, sometimes getting on someone's wheel can be detrimental because you might be really flowing and going for it, and then you actually slow down a bit when you get on their wheel, and you lose that momentum, you lose that sort of enthusiasm to charge away on the attack. Yeah, so as you can see, we've all caught up again now on this hill, but because he's struggling, the gap's just getting bigger between himself and the rest of us. So here we go up this hill again, and now it's my turn to start sort of flagging really. You know, we've just sort of going back and forth now, me and a few of the other riders, and I felt really fresh going up this hill the first time. Second time now, and it feels harder. I think we do 8 laps, so it's 8 times up this horrendous hill. And yeah, so I get attacked again now by this chap, and again I just can't really answer it. I get up to the top of that hill, 178 BPM. During a race, sort of consistently, that's my maximum really. I won't tend to get above that in a race, and it's not like he's sort of hammering away from me, but I can't get on his wheel. I'm struggling to sort of respond to that attack. So here we are again, next lap. And it's this chap's turn to sort of flag a bit. I mean that's the heat basically. I think is everyone was struggling a bit with consistency. So rather than just feeling great all the time, people were sort of really good on some parts and not so good on others. I think I'm a fairly light rider, so the steep hilly bits I find a bit easier, but then yeah, these bits here I struggle to maintain anything afterwards. And also these flat bits, so there we go, he attacks me and I've just got nothing. Heart rate isn't that high, but because we're already halfway through the race now, I can't respond, or I don't want to respond in a way. That's one of the interesting lessons that I learnt today, I think, about cyclocross is there's quite a large element of choice, of sort of mental attitude. You know, if it was life or death, I probably could have caught that guy, you know, but part of me just said I don't want to suffer. I'm not prepared to carry on suffering where, you know, I'm sweating out of my eyeballs. And that in a way was my problem today. I had 2 or 3 of those examples where riders where I'm clearly a similar ability, if not slightly stronger, I don't know, but I couldn't get in the mindset of this is war, if that makes sense. Sometimes you can, sometimes you feel really sort of in the flow, but this time no, I didn't have it in me to do those battles. So yeah, the last 3 laps, and the sun as well, obviously the sun had a big impact on me. The last 3 laps I got slower. I think I was about 10 seconds slower on the final 3 laps, if not even more so, whereas the 2 guys who I was battling with, when I looked at their lap times, they were consistent, and that was the difference basically. I just ran out of fight, I ran out of steam, and they managed to sort of come away, and that was the frustrating thing really. But it was a hard race, and it was really, really fun actually. I really enjoyed doing this race. And here we go, just got a few more sort of sped up efforts up this hill just to show you that, you know, my heart rate is actually getting lower and lower every time I do this, and that's because I'm just running out of energy basically. It's quite muscularly sapping going up these climbs. So it's hard to maintain a high heart rate because I just don't have the muscle power to maintain all of that, if that makes sense. So I sort of get slower and slower as the race goes on, and I don't have the mindset to charge on. And then yeah, final lap now, and I'm in no man's land. I'm just coming up, I'm coming to lap him, and there's no one behind me for ages, there's no one in front of me for ages, so it was an inconsistent race again, unfortunately, but it was very enjoyable and just absolutely dripping with sweat now. Wow. Oh my god, look at me. I'm absolutely soaking. This is ridiculous. Wow. I think these races are getting harder. I had some right tussles with some riders. And yeah, lots of climbing. Absolutely knackered now. My back's killing because it was so hard and bumpy. So, unfortunately, no rice pudding this week. Because I didn't plan ahead. I should buy these things in stock, but anyway, so I got my baked beans this time. Yeah, driving home now, back to Manchester. Got about an hour's drive. Gonna have a shower, drink about 10 litres of water, and I'll be back with the results tomorrow. Boom, and the results are out. Okay, so it's the following day. Just checked my phone, and I got 25th place, which I'm actually quite surprised about. I thought I'd done much worse than that. My previous race, so 4 weeks ago, I got 27th. Previous one before that was 29th. Previous one before that was 20th, so I've gone... And then previous one before that was 40th, so I've gone 40th, 20th, 29th, 27th, 25th. So even though training's not been superb, I am getting better. I'm getting lower down in those 20s. I really want to get to 20th place again before the summer series is over. Oh, And one more thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a competition in the next video. So make sure you watch, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and there's going to be some amazing prizes going here. So make sure you watch the next video.